Okay, so I have to admit, in contrast to my other video where I suggested that the Elementalist needed a lot of work for it to be on par with other professions, I'm going to backtrack just a little bit. Yeah, it feels really good to be an Elementalist right now. I'm not going to lie. And I'm going to convince you to dust off the old lightning hammer, summon your fire elemental, and main an Elementalist. Okay, so let's start out with the elemental in the room. It was funnier in my head. There is a crap load of skills that you have to learn to be able to play the Elementalist effectively. The Elementalist has 20 active skills depending on the weapon that they are using, and that's not even including the conjured weapons that they can have. It's pretty intense. The design of the Elementalist is pretty straightforward. Fire is going to be your basic damage, your water is going to be healing and cleansing, your air attunement is going to be crowd control and some more damage, and then earth is going to be defensives, cripples, and bleeding. It's fairly straightforward. That's kind of hard to mess up, but the idea of the Elementalist is that it is quite literally the most versatile profession that you can play. There are so many different things that you can handle, given that you essentially have 4 sets of weapons that you can utilize. Do you need damage? Boom, fire attunement. You need to snap a break bar, air attunement. Let's get some stuns out. You need to moisten the situation. You have, I'm gonna stop. You get the point. You have a tool for every single situation that you're gonna run into. And that should just be case in point. That is why the Elementalist is arguably a Swiss Army knife. They have something for every situation. And to take it a step further, the gameplay is actually incredibly fast. The amount of skills that you're using, switching between the attunements, using the extra skills, the utility skills, and dodging all paired together just makes it for a really engaging experience. If you're that type of person who enjoys an MMO where you are constantly doing something and you don't have downtime in your rotation, then the Elementalist is perfect for you. Because I promise you, you will not be bored. And that's just core, which leads me to the elite specializations for the Elementalist have been done incredibly well. And to be honest, on par with what I believe the engineer had for their elite specializations. Every elite spec that either the Elementalist or the engineer had made sense either in a situation, in lore, it flows perfectly. So the elite specializations for the Elementalist adds an extra twist to the already complex nature of the profession. I mean, hell, you could ride a goddamn mountain in Earth Overload. That is pretty freaking cool. But with that, it adds just really satisfying gameplay to execute an overload perfectly, or to deal out some incredible damage, you know, go into water attunement and heal up and save a couple of allies. There's so many different aspects of it that make it just engaging. The Weaver takes split personality basically to another level. It's able to do these 2 different attunements at the same time and have half of the abilities from the previous one and the other half, and then have a dual attack, which just makes it such a cool twist to an already awesome profession. It's incredible. And of course, you get to play around with a sword, so that's pretty cool. But it's basically a DPS glass cannon. That's where Weaver is strong, is just absolutely obliterating enemies and high risk, high reward, which kind of emphasizes where the Elementalist mentality should be. It should be in that sense. And then of course we got the Beefy Boy and the Catalyst, which I've played a significant amount, which was the perfect extra twist to the already interesting Elementalist gameplay. Because now you have a really beefy, meaty, man, I'm hungry. I almost said hamburger. Really beefy, strong, damaging attacks, which was something that the Elementalist lacked. The Elementalist typically did hybrid damage that was moderate from both sides, or heavy condition damage. Very seldomly did we have high strike damage, unless you want to talk about like Tempest and air overloads. And then on top of that, you get a damn elemental hammer that you are swinging around smacking enemies with. It is just so cool. Regardless of which route you take in your journey as an Elementalist, you are going to be happy. There's just so many cool things that you could do with this profession, and it is arguably one of the most unique in the game. But it is not a mage. Don't get that twisted. So in my MMO history, I'm notorious for not playing the mage profession. I choose not to, mainly because I am in favor of like the warrior, the ranger, engineer, those types of things. So I decided to give the Elementalist a chance in Guild Wars 2 because I played it in Guild Wars 1 and I wanted to be honest. I wanted to see how it played. And I regret not trying it sooner. And the main reason is because I initially assumed that the Elementalist was your stereotypical mage. It was a mage. You cast spells, you deal damage from a distance. There you go, that's all you need to do. I was wrong. That isn't the case at all. Now, of course, it does have some qualities that could be considered either mage-like or wizard-like, but in my honest opinion, you are more of Avatar: The Last Airbender than you are a traditional fireball-throwing mage. I mean, you're shaping earth, you're throwing fire meteors, you're summoning waves to knock back foes. Like, there's so many different aspects of this that is not your traditional mage. And I think that's what makes it interesting. And it's kind of jarring thinking that this MMO, Guild Wars 2, is, 10 years old and has lasted this long, but does not have that traditional mage archetype. Now, your traditional is going to be a warrior, a mage, or a thief, rogue type character. That's like your 1, 2, 3. I mean, you could argue a hunter as well. So not to have a traditional heavy spellcasting mage all the way in the back, throwing fireballs, paper thin, glass cannon is different. And I think that's why the Elementalist is such a fan favorite, at least to the fans. ArenaNet hates Elementalists. But once you start dashing into combat, I mean knocking over foes with your earth stomps, you just feel powerful. There's so many different things about this profession that just feel strong. The animations are on point. There's just so many positives to it. And it's just such an engaging user experience that's the reason I made it. That's the reason I play the Elementalist. And that's really what it comes down to. The reason I love the Elementalist is because it isn't a mage. It's a melee fighting, elemental swapping badass, and it's just fun. So if you haven't tried Elementalist, please give it a shot. If you're interested in what the Tempest can do, click on this video right here for the Tempest Elite Specialization Spotlight. As always, stay caffeinated, folks.